What up, folks? So we got a 2016 Toyota Fila wagon, right? This is the 165. Customer complaint is that the vehicle is not starting. So let's see exactly what's going on. All right, so it's a rainy day today, right? It's pouring where I'm at. All right, so as I mentioned before, this customer came with this hybrid version vehicle, and I believe another technician took a look at it and referred them to me, but it was unable to get the vehicle started, right? So the backstory for this vehicle is that some fuses had blown, right, and he replaced the low voltage battery on the seat, and these are some extra fuses that he purchased, right? And he said that I believe it's like 3 fuses that pop, right? So let me just show you exactly what fuse he said before we go further. All right, let's pop the hood. It's a crank no start. It's not going into ready mode, so I'm not sure exactly what was done prior to me touching this vehicle. So let's take this off. So it looked like they replaced this 20 amp fuse. He said a 7.5, and I believe this fuse, these 3 fuses right here, look different. So let's see what those fuses are. There's a hazard. No, isn't. It's the ETCS. All right, we got ABS 20 amp, and we have the ECU fuse, which is 7.5. Yeah, so if you notice that is some high amperage fuse that pop, right? I mean, the 7.5 also was blown, right? And that's for the ECU, right? So we gotta do some checks and see exactly why this vehicle is not starting, right? So let's confirm the customer complaint. All right, I got the key in my pocket. Yes, I do. All right, close this. Let me see if ignition on. All right, so can we power up? All right, so with the ignition on, I'm hearing the high voltage fan running. Okay, I'm not seeing anything else. All right, so let's see if the vehicle will start. Nothing. I'm stepping on the brake. Not getting anything at all. Not even the windows. I'm not sure if the windows is working. The horn is not working. All right, nothing is working. So I mean, that's a clue, right? Is the hazard working? Yes, it is. All right, so we hear the high voltage fan running in the back. So he did mention that he replaced the low voltage battery, the 12 volts on the seat. So let's take a look there, check some voltage there, and see if there's anything that he touched, right? And we gotta do some checks up in front to make sure all the fuses are intact, right? I mean, I'm sitting down in the vehicle. I could just try to put my scan tool on it and see, should I trust it? All right, let's put the scan tool on it and see if I can at least see something before I get out of this vehicle, because it's like a downpour right now. Right, and right now my scan tool is not powering up. The VCI is not powering up at all. Alright, so that's another clue. So we got no power on the windows, no horn. We got lights. Yes, we do have the lights. AC is not coming on. Alright, we got some fuses right here, and we're hearing the high voltage fan running, right? And the vehicle's not starting. Right, so what I'm gonna do before I mess my scan tool up, I'm gonna take that off. Right, that's first. And what I'm gonna do next is go on the hood and just do some checks. Let's look for anything that's not working, I guess. So let's go and do some checks. Yeah, so it's really raining right here. And as I said, it did come on a tow truck. So let's do some checks, make sure all the fuses are good, right? But what I'm gonna do also, we have a fuse box right here. We got the main fuse on this side, and we got also a fuse box on the glove compartment, right? All right, so we gotta do some checks up in front, see what was done, what was touched, But if I'm getting power off the 12 volts on the seat, that means I'm supposed to get power up here, right? I just spoke to the customer, and he did mention that he was having some issues prior to start because the battery was low and he jump start the vehicle. Alright, so the rain just stopped, so I'm able to finish diagnose this vehicle. It's kind of hard to, be speaking and yelling over the rain, so I decided to wait until it stopped, right? So we're going to do some checks on this fuse box. The customer did mention that he replaced the 7.5, the 10 amp, and this 20 amp, right? And the 7.5 is the ECU, and the 10 amp is the ETCS, and the 20 amp is the ABS #1, right? So we got to make sure that we're getting power right there. And then also too, he said that he jump started the vehicle right here, and the vehicle was running. He replaced the 12 volt battery after a while, and now the vehicle doesn't want to start, and it came on a tow truck, right? So we gotta do our checks right here, right? So first thing I'm gonna do is make sure that I'm getting power from the 12 volt battery to the front. So we're gonna just put the multimeter right there. You see I'm getting 11.83 coming to this cable, right? So that's good. Now let's go across to the fuse that he replaced, and let's see exactly if I'm getting the same 12 volts that he was getting. So while you're watching the meter, I'm putting it right here. I'm gonna put this light on real quick. Let's put it on DC. Okay, so let's check to see exactly if we're getting 12 volts on these fuses, or if it popped again. No, we're getting 12 volts here, getting 12 volts here, well 11 volts. What is this? I'm getting 11.8, and the same thing. So okay, I'm getting 12 volts on the fuses that he replaced. With that checked out, right, the vehicle doesn't want to go into ready mode still, right? What should I do? Is it the service plug? Should I check there? No, I shouldn't. I could. Let's check the service plug and make sure it's intact, because they did try to get the vehicle to start up, and this vehicle was by another garage, so I'm not sure exactly what was done. So it's kind of dark right here. Matter of fact, let me get a light so I can show you exactly what's going on. So I gotta make sure everything is in check before I condemn or call apart or something like that. So let's take this off, and let's make sure the service plug is intact. Right, so the service plug is intact, the battery pole is tightened in the back here. So let's go back up in front and do some more checks and see what's good. All right, okay, so our next check, I'm going to see if I'm getting 12 volts here, because I'm getting 12 volts on this fat cable. I'm supposed to get 12 volts right here, and right now I'm getting nothing at all. So I'm not getting 12 volts here. So this cable goes down and is connecting to the back of the engine. So if I'm getting 12 volts here, which I am, 11.8, same thing, but I'm not getting nothing here. Okay, I need to check those fuses and see what's good, because he did jump start the vehicle, so I'm not sure. This fuse look good. Hold up, it looked like the main fuse is blown. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can clean this properly. Kind of hard to see with the light, but it looked like you have a hairline crack. Yeah, the main fuse is blown. Let me see if I can get you closer. All right, there you have it. The main fuse is blown. Oh snap. Okay, so let me see if I get my hands on a 100 amp fuse, and I believe this vehicle is supposed to start. So I just took apart this fuse box so I can get to this 100 amp fuse. So I'm gonna just take off these bolts that they have on it. It's 10 mil. Sorry about the rooster or whatever it is in the back, right? I don't not own a rooster, that's the neighbor's, right? So I'm not sure exactly why he decided to make all that noise since I'm making a video, you know. But right, so let's take this off real quick and let's replace that fuse. As I said, before you do anything, always remove the battery pole so you don't blow another fuse or damage yourself, you know. Yeah, you don't need to take off the interlock for the high voltage one. Just take off the ground for the 12 volts so you don't mess anything up or intentionally, easy ground this to the inverter. So let's take this off right here and let's replace this fuse. Oh, you got that on camera. I just gotta wiggle this out. Okay, as I mentioned before, it's nothing special. You just gotta make sure you don't drop the fuse. Just see if we can get this out. I need to get some leverage. Right, this is the new fuse that I purchased and this is the old fuse, right? So if we take the cap off, right, take off this cover, you can see the little hairline crack that this fuse basically have because they decide to jump this vehicle. Let me see if I can get you here. So you see this line right here? That's a big gap. So basically it's high amperage that burned this fuse. Okay, so it probably was just barely holding on and that will cause others to pop, right? But let's put this back together and let's start this vehicle. So we'll be able to, get power back to the DLC, as you can see right here. Right, so let's scan for any codes and see exactly what's going on. So I'm still hearing the the high voltage fan running in the back. Right, we got some faults on the dash. Right, and let's see if the vehicle will start up or go in the ready mode since we replaced it. Okay, am I getting? Let's close the door. Oh. Alright, so let's see, it's going into ready mode. I'm not getting no throttle at all. Alright, so let's do a scan, right? Full health report, and at least I got power back to the windows and the AC, is it? Yep. So we got the AC controls back on again. Right, but as I said, I'm hearing the high voltage fan running in the back. Okay, I just had to step out real quick just to deal with a customer. But yeah, so we got, let me take this thing off. What is this? Okay, we also have a C1A63, right? C1A50 brake malfunction. We got a U0100. Basically, those communication with ECM, PCM, kind of vague. So what we need to go after, let me just go back to that fuse box and see exactly if they end up touching something that it wasn't supposed to touch. Okay, so let me check it out and see what's good. Okay, so I spoke to the customer and he said that he removed some fuses from this panel right here, and I told him he wasn't, because basically this is for EFI 1. Yeah, this EFI main and horn. So he thought this was spare fuses and removed some fuse from here. So we gotta get a 20 amp and a 10 amp fuse and replace it back on this. I mean, probably wasn't sure and was okay. So I got a 20 amp and a 10 amp fuse because the vehicle wasn't starting up at all. Right, let's put this back. So let's put this one back as well. So I mean, customer, if you listening, this is not spare fuse. This is basically a fuse block here that has the EFI main, the horn, and the IG2. Okay, so without that, we can't get the fuel injection and the motor and all these things to work. So let's see if I could get some of these codes off. All right, let's come out from here. Let's put the ignition back on. All right, let's take this thing off right here. I'm still hearing the fan in the back running. So let's see what's good. Gonna come back out. Okay, let's go right back in. So we're gonna clear all the fault codes. I'm seeing the check engine light on now. Before I wasn't seeing the check engine light, and the vehicle wasn't running at all. Matter of fact, should it start? Let's see if it starts. Yup, the vehicle starts right up. So right, but we still have some lights on the dash, right? So we got the vehicle running. I'm gonna do a health report. So while that's running, I'm just going to go in front and let you hear the sound of the engine. Wow. So the 100 amp fuse is working, and basically, yep, sometimes we do tend to get sabotaged in this job, but yeah, this is not extra fuses, man. The spare fuses is, which one is it? We got spare fuses in here. Do it. It doesn't look like it does have any spare fuses, but check this out. Don't touch none of these fuses. They don't have no spare fuses here. Okay. So let's switch the vehicle off. And matter of fact, I did see some high voltage faults, so let's see what's going on. Okay, so right now I'm not charging at all, so the engine is just running and the battery is just gonna run right down. So let's stop the vehicle, and it sounds horrible. Let's start it up and see how it sounds again. Let's shut it down. Wow. Okay, let's put the ignition on. Okay, so we do have some faults here. Let's clear it. Don't worry about that. So right now I'm clearing all the fault codes on the system, and I'm still hearing the noise in the back. All right, so let's start the vehicle up again. All right, it's starting rough. So let's come out of here. Let's go right back in. Can we move? Yes, we can. So we can definitely move the vehicle, which is a good thing because it definitely came on tour. So all right, so let's switch the ignition off. Doesn't sound like this engine is gonna last long. All right, so we got some codes still. We got the P0A9E. We still got all the temperature sensor codes. We got the battery circuit high. We got the hybrid battery pack current sensor have faults. What else do we have? So we got a lot of faults here, and we still have we have some faults on the ABS because from what I'm seeing it's not regenerating. So I'm gonna make this a part 2, right? So stay tuned. Peace.